You can see one guy in that SUV, tinted windows all the way around. It looks like there might even be a book open on the dash there. No, it's just a shadow. But anyways, this continues on, and you know, very dangerous for all the people that are out here on the freeway this afternoon. Southbound 405 freeway. Going to get you some better locations here in just a moment, but this pursuit continues, leaving the Long Beach area, started way up, as you guys mentioned, way up in the San Fernando Valley earlier this afternoon. Juan and Senator, you know, the spike strips, you know, it's not the movies. That's the one thing. This is real life. You know, we see in the movies, they'll run over the spike strips, and it's very dramatic. Tires explode and get shredded, and you know, we do see the tires get shredded. We've seen those tires go flat, but it doesn't happen like that. And is it on purpose? Is it not on purpose? You know, that doesn't make a difference. The fact of the matter is the spike strip, basically think to yourself a nail that's hollow. So it's a little metal tube, and it's designed to break. There's like a breaking point on it, on that long strip. So the tire runs it over, and then it basically makes a little tunnel, a little straw, a metal straw inside the tire, so it lets the air out slowly. If the driver continues driving on it, yes, then the tire's going to get hot. We're going to see that shredding and the tire come apart, and then he's on the rims. But that's how it's designed to work. And so it also doesn't make that explosion, and that might be to keep it a little bit safer for the public. You don't want to have anything quick and dramatic happening with a driver not trained. With high speeds, or not a professional driver. So that's how those spike strips work. We've seen them work in the past. Very dangerous for the officers. If we get one of the officers back on, we should talk about how dangerous it is for those officers to deploy that. They have to get in front of the vehicle or near a high-speed vehicle with somebody who's running from officers, so you don't know their intent. That's a big car, any car. Heck, if he was in a smart car, if he aimed for an officer, it could be deadly. So the spike strip, very dangerous. You know, he's not. We don't see him. And, you know, the helicopter, the police helicopters that are overhead, they have about the same technology as we do. You know, so they are looking, they are doing pretty much the same thing. Their view, not so much about what's going on around it, but they want to see inside. They want to see if this guy is reaching for a possible weapon, if he is acting erratically, if he's moving around. You know, is he on the phone? Who's he calling? All that type of stuff, that's all the law enforcement. They really want to keep track of that. We just kind of looking inside there. We're moving around best we can with the helicopter, the angles to maybe look in the front. We did earlier on. You know, I'm not saying this in any kind of disrespect. I'm not 100% that that's a male driver. I see a tank top on. But very good posture and sitting up very straight this afternoon as this suspect continues to endanger people out here on the southbound 5 freeway, definitely in the Westminster area, just continuing along out here. If we haven't passed Beach is going to be the next off-ramp, and well-established carpool lane. Doesn't look like you're making any plans to go anywhere but south. I was also wondering if anybody was speaking about where this car was registered to. Was there any talk earlier on about do they have an idea where this, you know, is the car from the Valley? Is it from Orange County? Maybe this person's trying to drive home. Oh, moving fast and moving well. You know, he's Canoga Park. He's going away from home right now. Southbound 405. I know we've passed Beach earlier on. Fountain Valley is the area where we're coming up to. Fountain Valley, and you know the next. LAX, Long Beach. Now we're going to be doing John Wayne here shortly if we keep this trend going. So this guy given us not just a tour of the valleys, but a tour of major airports in the Southland as well. Keep it moving along out here. I got out of that doubler. He's crossing those double yellow lines again right there, getting back into the carpool lane, out of the carpool lane. Take a look at the number of officers from California Highway Patrol that are following this guy this afternoon. And when I say guy, I just kind of mean that as a general term. And they are there behind him. They are there to help in case something goes wrong. Obviously, if that person in that a Navigator, big SUV, if there is some sort of collision, those officers are going to try to help the innocent victims. Also, if this person runs, other officers might use their vehicles to try to get ahead, set up some sort of perimeter, and of course, try to take this person into custody when this thing comes to an end. I said the word try. I'm just catching myself right there. They will. There's no doubt about it. This person's going to be in custody. By the time we're done, this person will be in custody. Moving around, though, getting around all these other vehicles, using that carpool lane, kind of really likes that HOV. Who doesn't if you can use it? And to see some of the other vehicles just trying to get out of the way. You've got to wonder what goes through these, people's minds. You're going to hear the lights and sirens. You're going to see these cars whizzing right by you. If you're not looking in your rearview mirror, this stuff catches you off guard, and I always worry about that. I always think that maybe that somebody out there is not going to be paying attention and turn the wrong way and create this big disaster. Right now, though, this guy been very, very lucky. We've continued to move along out here on the freeway. Definitely Westminster. We're going to be southbound 405. I believe we're coming up onto that area where the 57 and the 55, they all kind of cross, and then obviously we're going to be in the John Wayne airport area. So I know Marco right now is making his calls, and he's looking out the window, and we might be having a little problem with the shot, just letting you know, but we're going to stay with it. Of course, though, Orange County Division of the California Highway Patrol definitely has been notified. They're probably getting the calls right now. They're going to be joining the pursuit probably for a while, and also making sure that other people in the area are safe, and then maybe even staging, just in case this does come to an end. Right now, though, it seems like all the pursuit intervention techniques, I love that when they say it all fancy like that, did not work this afternoon. These high speeds, they're not going to pit them. They have to think about safety. So right now, following is what they're doing, but it's not a following. They are definitely in pursuit this afternoon. believe what we just saw right there was kind of the changing of the guards. The other California Highway Patrol Patrol that they passed. They were probably on the 405 going a little bit slower, and they just did this changing of the guards as it would be. They're all California Highway Patrol, but they're different divisions of the California Highway Patrol. Right now, though, don't worry about John Wayne. We got clearance. We're way up above it. We are a little bit higher than we usually are, looking down on it, but now we're able to cross over the traffic. Traffic, when I say traffic, meaning the traffic from the aircraft landing at John Wayne, just waving out the window right there. Looks like some activity. He had his hand out the window. Not sure what he was doing. It wasn't a gesture. That's why I pushed in on it. But looks like he was either waving or cleaning something off of his hands. There he goes again. So he's definitely knowledgeable that there are people watching, probably listening. Maybe he's got the phone going. Maybe people are calling him. If somebody's calling or if he's hearing us right now, the reality is eventually this is just going to come to an end. The longer you keep this up, there's the more chance somebody's going to get hurt, and everything is just going to compound. And we don't want to see any injuries to anybody, be it suspect, civilians, and of course law enforcement as well. Don't want to see any injuries at all. But this pursuit continues on, now out, leaving the John Wayne Airport area, still on the southbound 405 freeway, as we're working our way, sorry about that, into the Irvine area. Sorry, I'm multitasking out here, trying to find what channel the CHP is on. Sorry about that. But we're in Irvine now, southbound 405. We're continuing on number 1 lane, and as I look ahead, traffic is wide open. Sandra, Juan, unbelievable stuff. Whoa, look at that one. Oh. You know, yeah, he was riding it right through the middle. You know, that really is up to the officers and wherever it winds up litigiously. I actually spoke to, and I got to be careful with all that. I spoke to a friend of mine, LAPD officer, and we were out one night, and he was laughing about how we talk about how somebody's watching the tape somewhere and basically writing down all the offenses. He says not at all. But you know, you just don't know different agencies, different law enforcement techniques and protocol. Right now, though, I got to tell you, this guy driving a lot more dangerously, getting very slow around here as we're approaching the 133. Not there yet. Still in the Irvine area, but there does seem to be a little lump of traffic there, a little pack, and we did see him make some very dangerous moves just now. You know, basically, I would guess, and I'm just a guy in a helicopter watching a pursuit. I would guess that they are just going to go for the big ones, you know, evading, and hopefully that's the only one that they're going to nail him with. You know, maybe the reckless driving and evading, those are pretty big. They're going to carry a lot of weight. But you know, and hopefully there won't be anything else. Hopefully there won't be any reckless endangerment or injury to anybody, or we won't even be talking about that. I got to say, though, I was aware of that pursuit this morning, and you know, you got to be careful what you wish for, because I was thinking, wow, they got to go to San Diego. Here we are. We're just passing or just getting to the south end of Irvine as we continue on the 405 south. Yeah, you know, Juan, I'm jealous. I didn't know you were hosting that one as well. You got 2 big ones today. So right now, though, the 133 is up ahead. The 5 obviously is where this is going to end up. If he really doesn't, and if he stays on a freeway, we're going to wind up on the 5, and we're going to continue on southbound. Just getting, like I said, south end of the Irvine right now. I'm looking up ahead. There was a little bit of traffic right there. The 5, it does seem to bunch up as well. It's slowing down. I don't know if that's because of traffic. I don't know if maybe the vehicle's giving them some issues. It is a newer Lincoln. You'd think not, but it does seem like he is starting to get more into the middle lanes, not taking that carpool lane that he's been so fond of. And as I say it, there he goes across that center divide right there, and running up some speed again. So, nope. I guess he is fine, and the car is going well. Continuing on, though, and California Highway Patrol, now they are on a different frequency. They are on their Orange County frequencies. Looking up ahead, though, it's going to be merging onto the 5 freeway as we get very near the Spectrum. You know, there's a lot of people out here shopping. It was a while ago we had a pursuit, got off here. And, you know, every time they get into those populated areas or where malls are, I always really start to flinch. This guy running, obviously, not paying attention. You got people on foot. Does seem like carpool only is what I'm reading. I don't see any off-ramps for the HOV or specialized ones. So it looks like we're going to be joining the 5 freeway southbound. Pursuit started up in the valley, Canoga Park area, I guess. A couple of attempts, and with spike strips, they didn't work, and got on these freeways, and southbound it is, and we're continuing on now. This big SUV continues to elude officers, and not really elude. The officers know exactly where this guy is, but basically just not stopping for officers this afternoon as the pursuit continues now, southbound 405. You know, you always check what you need before you go. But you know, I'm hoping this person didn't say I'm going to get into a pursuit today. Looking ahead, though, in Lake Forest area, southbound 5 freeway, a lot of traffic. I don't know. It is moving, so I'm guessing that he'll probably continue doing what he's doing right there. That's so California. Got the surfboard hanging out of the pickup truck. You know, he's going to be continuing here. Southbound 5 freeway. We're going to be entering the Lake Forest area here shortly. Definitely traffic coming up. California Highway Patrol. They are talking. There is some rumblings about maybe they're going to be able to do something. I can't see how, though, just because of all the traffic up ahead. There's not going to be an area where the traffic is going to be light enough. Somebody once mentioned to me, and Juan, Sandra, join in what you guys think. Just sitting around, they said, you know, what if the officers stopped the traffic up ahead and just made all the traffic stop, and then this guy couldn't, you know, whoever they were chasing would kind of get blocked in. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea, but you got to think about public, right? You got to get the safety. Yes, definitely. No. I was just saying, definitely. You know, that was my response as well. Is, you know, you can't use the public as a tool to stop a pursuit. That's pretty much what that was the answer that I gave as well. But you know, it's people watching at home. They always come up with these ideas, and and I love it. You know, because one of those crazy ideas might be the right idea someday. So whenever we hear things or I hear things, I always love engaging and hearing what other people have to say about how they would bring this to an end or what they would do. But the reality is these guys, and when I say these guys and gals, the law enforcement, be it in this case California Highway Patrol, but whatever law enforcement they are, you know, it isn't just some person behind a wheel. These guys are trained, high-speed driving training. Some of these are pit maneuver training. These are, you know, when they bump those rear ends, that's a class. That's like a badge or something that they get, or a little paper award that they have on their cubicle. But they are specially trained officers that are doing the job that they are trained to do. Usually that suspect not a trained person at all. You know, I just got to say, we just passed that Mini Cooper right there. Really gives you an idea of the size of that SUV, what a big vehicle that is, and how dangerous this could be if this goes sideways somewhere along the road out here. But right now, still, southbound 405, Mission Viejo, guys. Mission Viejo, continuing on. California Highway Patrol still chasing this guy. Another Highway Patrol officer right there. Might just be a guy on patrol, might be a little changing of the guards there. It looks like just somebody on patrol, but you saw how he saw that vehicle and got panicked. And that kind of, you know, officers, they watch that behavior too, and that's a little something, that's going to be a box they check. Might not be crossing double yellow lines, but that it gives them an idea that this person is very on edge, and so they're going to be, that's going to be something that they're going to keep an eye out for. Yeah, there was a movie a long time ago when I was a much younger person, and they did. It was all just about a chase, and you know, somebody did try to stop it, and you know, anyways, if you know that movie, it was a very funny scene. But you know what? It's a movie. It's not reality, and you don't want to have anything like that ever happen in real life. Right now, though, continuing on, using the number 1 lane, using the carpool lane. Speeds probably about the 70 mile an hour, back down to the 70 mile an hour. You can see that one officer from Highway Patrol riding that center line out there. Basically what he's doing is he's alerting that guy that they're passing right there in the number 1 lane that this is a pursuit. He's using his lights and sirens. I can guarantee you we can't hear it, but down there on the ground they can hear it for sure. And they are blaring right now, basically warning the public as best they can that they have emergency vehicles coming through. And of course, they don't know. There's no way to say, hey, there's a chase coming, but they're giving the public the idea that there are emergency vehicles coming through and that this pursuit is stopping right there, really slowing down. Not sure what that plan is. And you know what? I'm going to do the camera magic real quick because I just noticed that he might be doing something on the phone right there. So give me a second here as I try to clean up the picture, but definitely looks like he's moving his hand around. Maybe he's eating or something. But it did look like he's moving around. But I thought maybe he was on the phone or doing something like that because he did kind of do that weird slowing down right there. But continuing to roll back and forth between the carpool lane, the number 1 lane, California Highway Patrol. We are down past Mission Viejo right now. This pursuit continues, Ladera Ranch area, Laguna Hills, depending on what side of the freeway you're on. And it is just going and going. I don't see this guy planning on just stopping, wondering how far the gas is going to get him. That is probably going to be the factor, unless he's got a plan. And if he does, that plan is probably going to end with him in cuffs at the end of this pursuit. Well, you know, I saw movements with the hands up by his head there, and so I just was, you know, just curiosity. You just want to know. I know people at home are doing the same thing. Like, hey, can we see what's going on? You know what? We're making that effort, really trying to get in there and take a look. It seems like he's got one hand maybe on the radio. Maybe he's listening to KNX. If he is, it's an excellent choice. But you know, he needs to just pull over. That's what he needs to do. Radio time is great, but he needs to pull over. You know, I'm looking at out. Juan just mentioned, you know, we are getting very close to the ocean. We're going to be riding right up. The 5 takes us very close to the ocean. It's very scenic out there. Those turns, those big wide turns that are coming up in the San Juan Capistrano area on the 5 freeway. The traffic is bunching up as well. We don't want to see this guy try to push his way through using that big vehicle. You know, Juan and Sandra, that's also something I always kind of wonder about. You know, this is, you know, it's an SUV, it's a Lincoln, it's a nice car. You always kind of wonder, you know, when they start using it as a battering ram, what are they doing? I mean, this is, you know, you don't want to damage your own vehicle, but obviously you're running from the officer, so you're not in the right state of mind to begin with. Right now, though, we haven't seen him touch or swap paint with any vehicles. I saw a couple of close calls. But right now, though, he's continuing these in and out movements here. Number 1, carpool seems to be his favorites. But he has taken that gore point, and he also has used the emergency lane, and he's gotten very close to some other vehicles. Hopefully, this won't end with a crash. Yes, Sandra, and you know, I'm just guessing that the lights and sirens from that California Highway Patrol warned that little silver vehicle to get out of the way. You can see how that officer kind of riding that center area right there, not established in a lane. He's basically riding in the middle, not doing that, you know, just on a whim. He's doing that so that the other vehicles ahead of that SUV, you know, when they use their mirrors, they're going to see those lights and sirens. They're going to see that California Highway Patrol. They're going to know that something is going on, and hopefully they're going to be ready to make that move if they have to. Right now, though, we're continuing on. A beautiful view out here in Sky 9 this afternoon. You know, we got blue oceans coming up. I almost tempted to go wider to the guy, really show you guys, but it is a pursuit. It is a very serious situation, and of course it's continuing now. We're going to be in the San Juan Capistrano, Dana Point, going to be coming up on San Clemente. A little bit of clouds up ahead. Don't know what you guys had in the morning, but there are some clouds coming up. I don't know what we're going to do to get around those. Right now, though, it's continuing. Traffic is going to get thicker. I can't say it's stopped, but you know, I don't know if thicker is really a good terminology for traffic, but it seems to be getting slower moving and more dense up ahead, so thicker is probably a good adjective. Right now, though, no more carpool, but he loves that number 1 lane, and he continues going faster than whatever the traffic is out here, which makes it dangerous, and continuing on. It looks like we don't see any kind of ideas. He never gets way over to the right. So he's not planning on getting off of any of the off ramps. I'm not sure what the plan is. Maybe he's just hoping for a long police ride back to the valley as we continue on. Speed's better than freeway. Southbound, San Clemente area. I'm going to try to get you some real off ramps here in just a moment. I think I'm going to be able to. But traffic's going to get thicker, and California Highway Patrol behind them in force. Well, you know, definitely they're not going to allow traffic to get between the officers and that SUV, and definitely the one officer right there that we're seeing, the one that keeps straddling that line, definitely the closest I've seen since this has started. Basically right up on that SUV this afternoon, getting closer, closing that gap as you've been saying. But you know they're not going to be doing anything like a pit maneuver. They're not going to bump that rear bumper until there are no other cars on the freeway. And then of course, you know, you've got to, it's all physics. And you know, the weight proportion is not going to be good. You see the brake lights coming on that on that navigator. So he's definitely starting to get into that traffic we were talking about, and it does seem to get thicker and thicker as we're going up the south here into San Clemente. So he's going to start having some issues right there, really starting to lock it up, trying to choose the number one lane. And this is this time when this stuff starts happening, officers are going to start getting more and more tense. We start to watch a little bit more about what's going on, but you can see the traffic's getting thicker, cars are driving slower. This guy's still holding those high speeds out here. This may get a little bit hairy. The lanes, and it looks like they're doing construction out here as well. That might add to making the lanes a little bit tighter. When they do that, they always take a little bit off of each so they have the areas to work. California Highway Patrol definitely right behind them there as this continues on southbound out here. They just want this thing to come to an end. Something else just to talk about real quick. This has been going on for, like you said, coming up on probably on 2 hours now. When I always shout out the number one lane, some people might not know how that works. Lanes are numbered on the freeway, basically from left to right. So the one closest to the center divider, if it's not an HOV, that would be the number one. In this case, he is going to be in the number 2 lane. That's just some verbiage that you get used to doing traffic and listening to law enforcement talk about things, because that's how they number the lane. So right now he's in the number 2 lane, southbound 5 freeway, just past San Clemente. This thing just keeps going and going. I'm sorry, I thought I was going to get you a street name right there. But it just continues on out here. Traffic is about the same. Maybe it's going to get a little bit more thick as we make another one of those big turns. But it really does look like we bought the ticket, and we're going to be taking the ride to San Diego this afternoon. Well, Sandra, I mean, those are the important things. That is a lot of the working that these officers, any law enforcement, in this case, it is going to be California Highway Patrol. This is the stuff that they are talking about. This is the stuff that is going on behind the scenes. It isn't just, let's get behind this guy, drive as fast as we can, turn on our lights and sirens, and just have a good time. These guys not having a good time. Right now, those officers, they are worried, they are panicked. Not panicked, they're not, let me correct that. They are doing the job that that they are trained to do. They are worried about the public is what they're worried about, and they are, of course, they are trying to make a plan right now, doing what they can as fast as they can, getting as much information together to bring this to an end safely. Right now, though, we're entering the Oceanside area. San Onofre is where we're at. If we can see it in the shot, the power plant is going to be right there. It was that close to the San Onofre area, and of course that pursuit continuing on. California Highway Patrol still behind him. It's starting to change some lanes out there. They're talking about frequency changes as well. They're talking about who they're going to have to talk to. The car is slowing down. Was going 85 miles an hour, now starting to really slow down. Perhaps we're going to find out about that running out of gas. San Onofre, right by the power plant. It looks like he's starting to use that shoulder, really slowing down. Yes, and so San Diego, not in my future. Right next to the San Onofre power plant. That is exactly where we are. Southbound 5 freeway. It did come to a complete stop. The windows is down. The hands are out. Look at that. And you know, this is he's just bringing it. He's just doing what he needs to do. He's like he knows. A water bottle dropping out. You know, this is what we see a lot of the times. They will just come to a stop. Probably, my guess, ran out of gas. And here's our big question: it does appear to be a male driver, a young male driver. Getting out of that car. Not sure about the age at all, but definitely a smaller guy for sure. Getting out of the vehicle right now, slowly backing up out of the vehicle. Officers, California Highway Patrol, telling him what he needs to do. They got the dog out. That's it's great technique, but probably not going to need it. He's doing what the officers are telling him to do. They're going to make sure he has no weapons on him, anything like that. Hands on your head, walk backwards towards an officer. We're probably going to see one of the officers make an effort here in a moment, walk up, have that guy keep walking back so that they don't know where the officer is, but they're going to take that guy into custody. Obviously, got to make sure that that car is going to be cleared. Traffic really starting to build. Don't want to get off this guy right now until we see him go into custody, but down on his knees right there, probably asking him, probably anybody else in the vehicle. I'm almost positive that's what that question was. There we go. One hand, and then the other is going to be cuffed here in just a moment. Officers are going to have to check that car before they open up the freeway. Probably going to be taking away one lane, especially if it ran out of gas. All lanes right now, southbound 5 freeway shut down right by the San Onofre power plant as that black SUV finally runs out of gas out here. A long pursuit, short, uneventful ending as of yet, but that car still not cleared. Yep, and you know, these officers, well, you know, those officers actually working with their helicopter. We heard the helicopter talking just moments ago, saying he was looking the best he could to make sure there was nobody in the vehicle. The one officer did that big 4 in the air, just basically saying code 4. That means that yep, it is the universal. Everything is done and over with. That dog, not interested in the car, which is a good sign. That suspect is cuffed behind that vehicle. And let's take a little look at traffic as they shut down the southbound 5 completely. Other officers still making their way over here right now, but you can take a look right there. All lanes are shut down, at least for the few moments while they clear that vehicle, get it off the road, get those officers back into a safer position. Is building, but you know, this is a Southern California freeway. It will recover like it always does. Man, I never get to go to San Diego. Hey guys, something's going on Twitter. I got like 99 notifications. I was really bummed. I was like, to San Diego, really? I'm hearing you 5x5, Orlando. I think that's Orlando. Maybe I'm not hearing you. Is that you, Orlando? You can thank your assistant news director for pestering me. I love that, by the way. Anyways, and that wasn't sarcasm. That was real. What are our plans? What are we going to do? Are we headed back to base, or what's up? An RTB sandwich. Copy all. Returning to base. I might actually text on my way back and find either that, or I'll just dig around behind it if I can't. If JT's not in, I can tell you there's different cables. So one of the out spigots is wrong, obviously. Copy all. This is one of the many reasons why I love you. You know that, right? Is that type of can-do attitude. Oh, Marco, it's Monday. Who's Marv Albert?